The train screeched to a halt at Kharkiv station. What Gareth Jones saw next would haunt him forever. Bodies lined the platform like discarded dolls. Children with hollow eyes begged for breadcrumbs that didn't exist. This was 1933 Ukraine, and the world had no idea millions were dying. One man would risk everything to tell their story. Jones wasn't supposed to be there. The young Welsh journalist had slipped away from his Soviet handlers in Moscow, boarding a train south against all orders. Stalin's regime had sealed Ukraine tighter than a tomb. No foreign correspondents allowed. No cameras, no witnesses. But Jones carried something more dangerous than any weapon, a pen. Walking through village after village, Jones documented the impossible. Entire families dead in their homes. Fields fertile enough to feed Europe, yet not a single grain remained. Children eating bark, leather, anything to fill their stomachs. The Ukrainian people called it the Holodomor, death by hunger. Stalin called it progress. Back in Moscow, the Soviet press painted pictures of prosperity. Bumper harvests, happy peasants, industrial triumph. Meanwhile, Jones smuggled out notes written on cigarette papers, hidden in his shoes. Each word was treason. Each fact a death sentence. But 7 million souls demanded their story be told, even if it cost him everything. The world didn't want to believe. Western newspapers, hungry for Soviet access, dismissed Jones as a sensation seeker. The New York Times, Moscow correspondent, called him a liar. Government officials labeled him a troublemaker. Even his own editors questioned his sanity. How could such horror exist in the modern world? How could civilization hide genocide? But Jones had evidence they couldn't ignore. Photographs smuggled past border guards, testimonies from survivors who risked execution to speak. Government documents proving the grain seizures were deliberate. Stalin wasn't just neglecting Ukraine, he was weaponizing starvation. Every stolen bushel was a bullet aimed at Ukrainian independence. The pressure mounted. Soviet agents followed Jones across Europe. Death threats arrived daily. His phone was tapped, his mail intercepted. Publishers refused his articles. Colleagues crossed streets to avoid him. He'd become radioactive, a journalist whose truth was too dangerous for a world desperate to believe Stalin's lies. Then came the ultimate price. In 1935, while investigating Japanese activities in Inner Mongolia, Jones was captured and killed. He was just 30 years old. The official cause: banditry. The real reason: he'd seen too much, said too much, written too much. The man who dared expose Stalin's hidden famine had been silenced forever. For decades, the Holodomor remained buried under Soviet propaganda. History books ignored it. Politicians denied it. Survivors were forbidden to speak. Ukraine's greatest tragedy became the world's greatest secret. 7 million people had died, and their killer controlled the narrative. Truth seemed lost forever, buried with its greatest champion. But truth has a way of surfacing. When the Soviet Union crumbled, archives opened like floodgates. Jones's articles, once dismissed as fantasy, proved prophetic. Every detail verified. Every horror confirmed. The man they'd called a liar had been telling the truth all along. Ukraine's nightmare was real, and one brave journalist had died trying to stop it. Today, Gareth Jones is remembered as the man who wouldn't stay silent. A journalist who chose truth over safety, justice over comfort. His story reminds us that someone always knows, someone always sees. And sometimes, just sometimes, someone finds the courage to tell the world what it doesn't want to hear. The echoes of Jones's courage still resonate today. In every corner of the world where truth battles power, where journalists risk everything to expose injustice, his legacy lives on. Because the most dangerous person to any tyrant isn't the one with weapons, it's the one with a pen, a camera, and the courage to use them. This is why stories like these matter. Why we must never forget the price of truth, the cost of courage, and the responsibility we all share to listen when someone dares to speak. History's greatest tragedies happen when good people choose silence over action, comfort over conscience. If this story moved you, if Gareth Jones's courage inspired you, then don't let his sacrifice be in vain. Subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. Together, we'll continue uncovering the hidden truths that shaped our world. Because the best way to honor those who died seeking justice is to never stop seeking it ourselves. Join our community of truth seekers. Every subscription helps us research and share more untold stories that the world needs to hear. Click subscribe now, because the truth isn't just worth knowing, it's worth fighting for. Just like Gareth Jones did, one story at a time. Tell us which country or city you're watching from. See you in the next video.